Welcome to Swing Trading and Coffee, mellow vibes and great swing trading. My name is Anthony, and in this video, I give you my technical analysis of the markets and a review of both my winning and losing trades. But before I go on, I have to let you know that this content is not financial advice. It is only intended for educational purposes on swing trading. I got a long list of awesome stocks setting up right now. The market is really awesome for swing trading, and I hope you guys are making a killing on the market. Now, I'm going to share with you my personal swing trading plan for the week on the charts, okay? Let's first take a look at the SPY. Now, we have been in this channel for a long time, and it's holding up really well, so there's no need to go against it unless we break out of it. So right now, we are getting a little bit extended to the top, and as you can see here, we came up and we rejected. Now, that does not mean that we automatically have to come back down. We can still go sideways for a bit, and this channel, the angle will continue upwards, and then we can go up for another leg up. Looking at the SMH, this is the semiconductor ETF. We actually had this almost like a blow off top. I don't know if it's going to continue more. It is all the way up there above the channel, and we're going to see if this pulls back. It should, in theory, pull back to the 21 EMA before it continues up. But if this continues upwards, it's going to be quite the blow off top, and we're probably going to come back down. But we'll see how it plays out. I do have a play in AMD, but first let's look at NVIDIA so I can explain to you why I got an AMD. We had this breakout out of the channel, and then we came up here to this resistance zone. This box I have up here corresponds with this area up top, which was the previous resistance. Now, we tried to get through it the first time, we failed, and then we had a pullback into the channel, and then we just ripped right up. Now, if you were watching semis this week, you would have seen that TSM was the first one to break out of the channel, and then NVIDIA broke out, and AMD still has not broken out. It barely got out of the channel and it pulled back. So I'm thinking if we see more bullishness on semis this week, AMD could play out and just catch up to NVIDIA and TSM as well. So TSM had a massive move, and let me show you that on the charts so you can see what I'm talking about. Absolutely incredible rip to the upside. I doubt AMD is going to have a massive move like this, but it might. We just need to watch and see how it plays out. Okay, so I do have a small position in AMD, and the idea is once we have confirmation that we have broken out and the trend is starting to reverse to the upside, I could add into it a bit and then start scaling out once we get to this resistance, and then leave some off as a runner to go up to the next targets. Micron, I did a very in-depth video about this trade and my thought process as it unfolded, and I've fully scaled out at this point. It may have a little bit more up here to the 0.786, but I had a return of 675% on the options, which I bought 2 weeks out on the strike. Really good play, probably the best of the month so far. So pretty happy with this one. I will see if it starts to pull back and we can get a retracement for another leg up. Micron is looking really bullish right now, but I would not get in here because you don't know when it's going to pull back. SMCI. So this chart is really looking good. I am up a little bit on this one. I did buy some calls down here, and I prefer to use options, but these trades, they work with both stock shares and they work with options. So as we had this bounce off here, that was my entry. I did tell everybody that we had a big gap up here, and if we break this level, and I'll show you this resistance here, like if you draw a line right there, let's make it a little bit more visible. So if we break this zone up here, this is gonna explode because not only are you breaking resistance, you also have a big gap up here that probably will get filled. So I'm doing pretty well on this one so far. I think it has a little bit more juice to go, but continuing to scale out of it. SMCI pretty hot. I am gonna leave some on though, like as a runner to really see how far it goes, because first we got earnings in November, so really close. And if you zoom out of the chart and you see how much, we've come down since, early last year. Massive move, very big consolidation. And, when you zoom out, you realize how really small this move is in the big picture of things. Like when you're zoomed in, it looks like we just had a massive breakout, but in reality, this thing could rip way crazier. It's very volatile. Look at this here from in June all the way up to July. Absolutely colossal move. So if history repeats or if it rhymes, this one will be doing pretty good. So I did scale out, but still holding a little bit more. Tesla, this one pretty interesting right now. I almost got stopped out. I had a soft stop on this one because options can be very volatile, 50, 60%. Sometimes I give it a little bit more room to play. So I have here's the invalidation line. This is where like I'm out of my trade. I got in somewhere around this zone, went up here, and it looked pretty well. This is a continuation play. As you can see here, we had a move, pullback, big move, and now very shallow consolidation, sideways consolidation, and then we had the big rip up. That tells me that momentum on this stock is really strong. And just because we had a wild pullback doesn't mean that the move is done. Look at this wick here, and it bounced right off the 21 EMA. So this could be taken as a textbook, swing trade. Like if somebody had entered here at around 417 to take the bounce off the 21 EMA, they're already up, doing pretty good. But when you take a bounce off of these levels, you have to wait for some kind of confirmation. Now, this invalidation line is also a support zone, as you can see here, and we didn't even make it down here. So I am down on my Tesla position about 40%, but it's not a big deal because it is bouncing here, and options volatile. So if it goes down below, I'm going to stop out and take my loss. But otherwise, if it goes back up here and tries to break this level, I might even add into it. BMNR, Bitmine Immersion Technologies. This one I unfortunately had to put on the shelf for a little bit. I got out of the trade because I wanted to move money into Micron and SMCI and a couple other plays, just doing rebalancing of my positions. However, I got back in because you see here on Friday, we had this really nice wick up and we closed just above the previous day's high. This is your high and it just closed right above it. So we are moving up. We held the 21 EMA, really nice. Also, I did see a $1 million sweep for the 17th for the 58 strike. And if that sounds like gibberish, I understand. I'll break it down to you in simple terms. There are transactions that you can see on the market, like when they're like big buys, you can spot them using certain platforms. And when you see somebody going really aggressive, buying $1 million worth of options, that is a lot of leverage and a lot of money. So that says to me that somebody is very bullish on Bitmine. And not only that, the expiry was for the 17th of this month. I can't share the screenshot because the platform I get it off of, has copyright on it. So, but what I can tell you is I did see a big sweep on here, and sweep means they bought in aggressively. It wasn't like a planned buy. It was like a aggressive buy on the spot. So structurally, this trade is looking good. And, you know, seeing those big options coming in, not bad. So targets, still I have for my first target here is to break this 63.75. That'll be kind of like where I decide to scale out a little, depending on how much momentum we have to the upside. Second target here at $71. This is where I'd scale out more, and then eventually 80. I think this is gonna, you know, probably get up to 80. If you look at here how the pattern is happening, it's, you know, we're zigzagging up. So I think 80 is gonna happen, and it's the 1.0 fib. It could go higher, could go much higher, especially if Ethereum continues. And Bitcoin is doing well, Ethereum is doing well. We're gonna get into that in a sec. Crypto's looking bullish and ready for a breakout. And that brings me to the next pick. I'm gonna discuss with you MicroStrategy. Yeah, I've been torching MicroStrategy for a bit because it has pissed me off in the past when I was long on it and it did not keep up with Bitcoin. However, about last week, about Friday, I think I posted a video where I told you guys that we are getting out of the channel and we are holding the 21 EMA and the 50 EMA. And if we get even higher and we break this level, I'm gonna get into it for a long. This thing, if it can reverse and Bitcoin looks primed for a breakout, this thing will likely pop above the 480, maybe even into 500 or more. So now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 green candles in the row. That says something to me. There is bullishness coming back in. This is likely the bottom. Also, something else to look at is here. You see this big candle right there? That is a big volume area. A lot of trading happened here, and this is like a point of control. Now, once you've gotten above this point of control, it becomes support. So I think we've reversed, we've gotten out of this channel, and it looks like we may have found support. We're going to see what happens on Monday. Let's take a quick look at Bitcoin. Absolutely freaking ripping, man. 124,000. We just made highs today. This is great. So I think tomorrow when the market opens, MicroStrategy is going to rip. I'm going to make money off of these calls. So pretty awesome. Yeah, I am targeting 450 to 500. I think it could do it before year's end. I might be wrong. Not financial advice. I do not tell anyone to copy these trades. These are just me walking you through my process. And Opendoor. This one also I kind of had to shelf for a little bit, and I got back in. It did show some weakness end of day. It is, you know, technically barely holding on to this trend line going up. And we also have this 21 EMA in the middle, which it is holding. So let's zoom in a bit, take a closer look at here. So we had a period of very large volatility, and then it pulled back to the trend line, and then we had a bounce, and then now it's gone sideways, and the volatility has gone down. You can see that in the, you know, ATR is starting to trickle down, and we are at 1. So usually what happens is when you have a very volatile stock go quiet for a little bit like that, and it's especially when it's like stuck in between these two EMAs, this is like waiting to explode, I think. We're going to find out this week, but I really think this is going to probably rip through this high. But this is the big obstacle, is this red line right here at about $8.90. I think if we get through $8.90, this thing is going to run up pretty well. Oracle. So I am not in Oracle, but I am watching this one. As you can see here, we had a really nice move up, consolidation, and then we had this massive gap. Now we are trying to fill this gap here. However, this is, it may not fill entirely to the bottom. We may just get a partial gap fill and continue up. It is holding here at the EMA, the 21. And if this level holds, I think we should go up from here. But we got to watch this closely. I'm not planning on taking a trade on this, just watching it. It looks interesting. There's a lot of chatter about Oracle online right now. You know, stock twits, X, all that stuff. It's one of the trending stocks. So if I see something trending, I check out the chart and then I watch how it's performing, see if there's a trade coming up. But for now, this one is on the watch list. LULU being a little bit boring here, but we really got to hold this area. We had this long-term move, as you can see. Really, really big move. I mean, we've been dropping so badly. And now we have this big gap up here, which I'm thinking it does want to fill. I entered down here in this zone once we, got through this red line, our point of control. Once we got out of here, I took the long and I'm up on it a bit, but it's been really quiet and I'm starting to lose a little bit of on the premiums. But this trade is still in the green for me, and I'm waiting to see if we could get a big impulsive move to the upside, fill this gap, or even maybe break above this level, get up to the 219. Futu Holdings, this is one of the Chinese plays that I have. This one not doing so well. I think I'm down about 50% on my options, but it is holding just barely at this support level. If it goes below, I'm going to stop out of it. However, if you look at the big picture here, we have had this big move, consolidation, another move, and this is just another consolidation. And I would not be surprised if it just continues that trend to the upside. However, I need to see it break these EMAs. It's kind of like squeezing in between them. If you see here, we've been stuck in between these. You have the 13, 21, and the 50 below. And, it wicked and it went back to this zone here, which was previously support. And it's holding. So it could get a bounce, but in order to tell that this stock is starting to look bullish and there is momentum, we got to break above these EMAs here. And we really got to get above this 185. So I'm going to see how this one plays out. I may stop out of it if it goes below, but for the time being, it's not bad. I had some special requests in chat. I've been telling you guys, if you have any chart you want analyzed, let me know and I'll do a technical analysis. But no financial advice, just the technicals, and you can do your own research and decide if you want to trade it or not. Up to you. So first one was Beyond Meat. This one has had a insane roller coaster ride, and it just came back up. We had this. We opened up here, and then it just kept going back up, and it filled all of this. Now, would I have traded something like this? Probably not. It's just too volatile and lacking direction. Like, you don't know when it opens up below here, you don't know if it's gonna bounce and then roll over or if it's just gonna go back up again. Now, looking forward at this stock, we've had a really big drop from about $9 down to like $1.25. That's absolutely brutal. The way I see it is this is the one zone I'm watching that if we can cross above it, I may consider taking a long if there's good momentum. And so far, we've had a very strong move. This zone up here around the $3, because I want to see it break through these moving averages and I want to see it take out this resistance here. If we clear this, then we can just go straight up to $4 plus. But we have this resistance. It is a wall, and there's definitely a possibility that we are just going to roll back over after we come back up here. So not sure what's going to happen. We just have to see how it reacts when it gets up here. Does it hold up and then start to trickle up, or does it roll over? So You just gotta watch, see how the price action unfolds. Silver, this one is absolutely an absolutely obscene chart. Like, this is crazy. I don't know what is happening here. Inflation fears, tariffs, whatever. But this is just gone vertical. And do I see a trade here? I don't know. It's I mean, it is trending up, so I may consider a long on silver if it comes down to the 21. This line in the middle here. So this line is going to keep rising upwards. So, you know, if we get a pullback to like 40-ish and it's holding, like really holding, and it bounces, maybe. So if you look here at this level right there, this is a previous resistance and then it turned into support. We know that it's now support because you're going to see this wick right here, how it came back up. But up back here at this candle, it was resistance. So we have flipped this. It should be a support level. Also, we got this 21 EMA coming up, and it's going to intersect with this zone. Now, if I see a pullback to here and it starts to react upward, I'll be like, okay, this could be a good trade on silver. But for the time being, I'm, you know, hands off of this. You don't know how it's going to play out, when it's going to whipsaw back down. On the bright side, you do have this big wick up here that happened on Thursday. And this is a pretty strong move. So it may have quite a bit of gas in the tank to go up before it pulls back. So we're just going to watch it. If there's no definitive clear-cut trade, if there's, you know, the signal isn't too clear to me, I just stay out of it. NEO, this was another one that was requested. We got to zoom out to see the big picture here on the weekly. And we've come down a long way from, wow, I had no idea NEO was doing this bad. About $65 down to 550-ish. But anyway, this has come down a long way. And as you can see here, we've had 1, 2, 3, 4 points here that have pretty much made a bottom right here. I can probably take off this line. So this is looking pretty good. We did have a big move up, a pullback, another move up, a pullback, and now this is one more move. It's looking like it's coming up on resistance here. So what I did for me personally is I set an alert here at 796. If it can take out this resistance, which is about really where we're struggling right now. So you see that wick? Yeah. So if it can break that, maybe it'll go up to like 950. The reason I say that is once you break out through this resistance, you usually try and go up to the next one. The next one is at about 950, as you can see here. All right, that sums it up for stocks, but let's take a look at Bitcoin. Some nice movement to the upside. We've had this upward trend line, and we came really close to, just breaking down, and it looked like it was the end for Bitcoin. It looked like, when this happened here, I was like, this could get very ugly. It could just go all the way down here to like 93,000, this previous support. However, it did reverse off. I did get stopped out of my IBIT calls, but it's okay. The Ethereum ones I did hold on to. Now we've made a full move back up to the upside. And not only that, we've poked through the 126. So Bitcoin looking good. Ethereum, we have this upward trend line here, and it looks like we've held on to it. And this green trend line, let me show you. This trend line here also intersects here with this previous resistance zone. This resistance was broken, and now it's become support. I actually like the Ethereum chart a little bit more than a Bitcoin chart. I see just like a stronger structure. However, Bitcoin has just had a very bullish move. I'm thinking I could probably squeeze a little bit more out of Ethereum because of its volatility, but we will see. Like I said earlier, I got some MicroStrategy on Friday, and hopefully it does well tomorrow. And then I still have my Ethereum ETH-A. This is the ETF, which allows you to buy options off of it. I created this channel about a month ago, exactly a month ago, and we've had 500 subscribers plus so far. Very excited at the traction this channel is getting. Our next target is 1,000 subscribers, and after that, 10K. But I need your help. I need you to subscribe, and I need you to hit the like button so YouTube can know that this video is helpful to you and push it up to more viewers. If you have any requests for technical analysis on the charts, happy to do that for you. Just drop your comments below, and I will talk to you guys soon. Peace.